So when people pretend that exercise and eating healthy is the end all be all, they think that doing those things they act like it's a one size all approach to everything. Like when people just say exercise and work out, they don't know specifically what exercising and working out is going to help out with. It might help out with a couple of things, but at the end of the day, it's not going to enable you to live forever. It's not going to give you the elixir of immortality. And to take this in a manosphere direction, like to get into a relationship, to get a girlfriend, I think there's basically three things you need. Height. You need to be of a certain height. So you can't be short. You can't be fat. And your face, you can't have an asymmetrical face. That's just to get into the door. Just to get in the door. This is regarding making first impressions. That's my philosophy. You need three things, and only one of them you have any control over. Only one of them you can change. You can lose weight. You can not be a fat ass. And when people talk about exercise and diet, I think exercise and diet only applies to not being a fat ass. Exercise will not change your height. Exercise will not change the way your face looks. Like, there's no way to get a six-pack for your face. There's no specific exercise you can do to chisel your face. Like, you can't turn chubby chipmunk cheeks into high cheekbones. You can't reshape a regular jaw into an angular jawline, because that's bone. If your eyes are too close together or they're too far apart, no amount of exercise is going to change that. And I guess the only way you could change those things is through some sort of surgery, which is, I don't think is a good solution. It might be in the future, but as of now, there's nothing you can really do for your face. You'd have to gouge your eyes out. Like if like there's a certain way people look. People have a certain look to them. Like people that are considered attractive aren't attractive at all. take a look at Jackie Kennedy, for instance. She's a perfect example of someone having eyes that are too far apart. Now, she's widely considered to be beautiful. She isn't beautiful at all. I just don't understand how she can be a pretty woman when she's out here looking like E.T., looking like a hammerhead shark, looking like Sid from Ice Age. You know, eyes that are so far apart. It's just freakish. It's not symmetrical. And I guess people had different standards for beauty back then than they do now. But in order for her to become attractive, in my opinion, she would have to have her eye sockets moved closer to one another. I don't even think that's possible. I don't even think you could do that today, let alone back in the 60s. You'd have to gouge eyes out. You'd have to fill in. You'd either have to fill in half of the eye socket with like some sort of cement or bone, like actual human bone mashed up and mixed with cement. You'd have to fill half of it up, and then you'd have to like cut a circle so you'd move the eye socket from one position to, like, say it's on the left, you'd move it from a bit on the left and then you'd move it to the right, and you'd have to do the same thing with the right eye as well to make it closer together. But you'd probably leave someone permanently blind by doing that. You'd have to move the nerves as well behind the eye, and you'd have to reattach the eye. You know, it'd be a whole head fuck and really expensive. So, like, that's the only way Jackie Kennedy could be attractive, in my opinion. Now, John F. Kennedy, JFK, he wasn't like you know, I don't think his looks warranted all of the praise that people gave him. I guess the only reason why he was considered to be handsome, I don't know why he was considered to be handsome. His eyes were too close together. He had the exact opposite thing to what his wife had. His eyes were too close together, and you had a lazy eye, you know, and he had like Crohn's disease. So, like, if you look at him, like, if you look at pictures of him when he was a senator as opposed to when he was president, he bulked up, you know, because he was on all these drugs because he had Crohn's disease and he had back problems, and I guess that bloated him up. And, you know, he looked like a frog. He looked bloated in the face, eyes too close together, one of them a lazy eye that, you know, yeah, just like a frog. And, you know, they say he had a good tan, but it wasn't actually a tan. The reason why his skin color, his skin tone was the way it was is because he had like cortisol injections. Like, he was jaundiced, and that turned his skin color to be like an orangey brownie. And I guess people just that unintentionally helped him in the looks department. People thought he was tanned, but it was actually a side effect of jaundice. And I mean, the one thing that actually warrants people calling him handsome is his hairline. Give credit where it's due. He had an excellent hairline. His hairline was. I'm jealous. I wish I had a hairline that good. You know, he was in his 40s. He wasn't going bald. He had perfect hair. Absolutely perfect. And I guess he was considered to be good look. I guess one of the reasons why he was considered to be good looking was because he was the youngest president up until that point. And, like, if you compare him to his predecessors, they were all old men, out of shape, balding older men. And he was relatively youthful for a politician, that is, because if you're in your 40s and you're the president, I suppose that's youthful for a politician. But, yeah, there's like no amount of exercise will change the structure of your face because it's bone, it's not muscle. What makes someone's face look the way it is, it's a bone. It isn't muscle. You can't change the shape of bone. Yeah, like, I mean, if your eyes are too close together or your eyes are too wide apart, there's nothing you can really do about it. I guess try to look for a woman who is willing to overlook you if you have, she doesn't care about ET features, as long as you're not fat, as long as you're not a fat ass. Like, another thing, like having a good brow ridge helps, but there's like a fine line between it. Like, have a masculine brow ridge, but don't go over like some guys, if you look like Ron Perlman, if you have a brow ridge of a caveman, God help you. If you're a woman and you have a brow ridge of a Neanderthal, I feel sorry for you because you look like a man. There's nothing you can do about it, to be honest. So, yeah, and people act like is it going to make you live forever? Is exercise going to give you immortality? I mean, it might prevent you from getting heart disease, but you could exercise your whole life and it'd prevent you from getting heart disease. And let's say you live 80 years, most people die at 80, and you exercise your whole life, and what do you get for it? Do you get immortality? No, you're probably going to live 80 years like everyone else, but you're going to have 3 months onto it. You're going to get 3 months added onto the end of it. And, even like there's like the Reaper has 12 different ways he's going to fuck you up. 12 different ways he's going to do you in. And you can exercise and it might prevent 3 of them. But there's another 12 he's got up his sleeve. You could set down roadblocks, you can try and hold him off, but the Reaper's going to get your ass in the end. No amount of exercising is going to save you. You can exercise your whole life, and you're going to get 3 months added onto it because of all the exercise you did. But what if you get dementia? What if you get lung cancer? Exercise didn't solve that shit, now did it? And you're 80 years old, and then you find out you're getting dementia and lung cancer, and then pretty sure you're going to change your mind really quick about those 3 months. Now that I know I've got dementia, I want to die now. I don't want all that hard work over the years, all that exercise, all for that 3 months, and at the end of the day, it wasn't even worth it.